Hello, eighth grade remote learners. Sorry I'm posting this a little bit late. I just kind of ran out of time before school started today, but here we are. So this is the page that you're going to be using for today's assignment on Wednesday, September 23rd. These are called population pyramids. So while they don't exactly look like pyramids, you can see that in general, they're a little bit wider at the base and narrower towards the top. How are you going to access this page? Well, as I jump over, this is what will appear on Google Classroom. So when you go to lesson one, and then the hyperlink right here for population pyramids. So you click on that and you'll get to the screen that you just saw. You can answer your questions right here. So there's the United States population pyramid, Rwanda, Qatar, Russia, Uganda. And then as you scroll down, there are some other things to look at too, including population density, life expectancy, and smoking rates among males. So let me go back to the population pyramids, and there you go. All right, so this one, the setting that it's on right now is for the world, okay? There's a lot you can manipulate here. Over time, you can manipulate, right? So it goes from 1950 and then it projects all the way to the year 2100. And then you can also change it by going up just 1 year. So if I want to go from 2019 to 2020, just click that. And then you jump up and you can see the population changes, right? So what this is saying is that in the world right now, they estimate, it's not exact estimation, that there are about 7.8 billion people in the world as we sit here right now. Let me actually show you the Uganda one, because that one actually does look like a population pyramid. So you just click on the U, there it is, and you go to Uganda, and there it is. And you can see that this one does in fact look like a population pyramid. So why does it look like this? Well, I'm a big fan of graphs that show information in what I consider to be in a very efficient manner. So kind of like the climate graphs that we looked at earlier. So what this is, it's actually two bar graphs where the x-axis are basically smooshed, so they go up. What you're seeing on the y-axis here are ages, so people who are 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, and then all the way up to 100 plus. And then the blue side represents the males of that population, and the females, the kind of dark pink represents the female population. So for instance, we could say that about 8.6% of the country's population in Uganda, that's a small African country, are between the ages of 0 and 4. All right, so let me repeat that again. About 8.6% of the population of Uganda are males between the ages of 0 and 4. So hopefully you can see where that number came from, because we look down here and we're age 0 to 4. We're on the blue side, so that's male, and then it says 8.6%. And if you scroll over that bar, you will actually see that the number that it gives you for that is not just a percentage, but it's actually almost 4 million, 3.9 million people are boys in the country between the ages of 0 and 4. You'll also notice that the pyramid narrows as it gets to the top, meaning that, obviously as you get into the 70s and 80s and of course 90s, we wouldn't anticipate that there are many 90-year-olds in society as there would be 9-year-olds. And then you can let's go to France, for instance. So we click on F, and then we go to France, and you can see the population in France is much older, right? So they have a lot of people in the country who are between the ages of, say, 50 and 70. And while there still is a healthy population of kids and teenagers and people in their 20s, they actually do have a lot of people who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s. So this is a little less pyramidy, but it's still called a population pyramid. So the questions that you're going to answer ask you to go to the United States, which is there. I think for another one, you go to Qatar, which is there. You go to Rwanda and Russia, which you'd find under R. Again, you can manipulate the years by going -5, -1, and then you can advance all the way into the future for what their projections might be. Overall population is there. That's going to help you for the first 7 or 8 questions, I believe, at least taking you through what's the last one? Uganda, I think, is the last country listed on the other document. I was just going to say something else, and I forgot. Oh, some of the questions are pretty basic. They ask you just to be able to read, comprehend the graph that is there. Others of them are a little bit more challenging. They sort of ask you to analyze or predict what might take place. I don't expect you to know the history of all these countries. Like there's one with Qatar and there's one with Russia. But it's more of just getting you thinking about what are the certain things that might affect these large populations. So you don't have to do any outside research on these. I'll talk about them later. But if you are, it's the idea of not just reading a graph, but also sort of trying to understand how did those numbers arrive at the point that they did. The final three questions ask you to go all the way down. There are some other cool visuals you might want to poke around with. It goes to these ones. So for instance, what was one of them? Life expectancy, right? So life expectancy at birth in total years. You click on that, and that will give you not just a map. So the darker the color, that means that the life expectancy is longer. The lighter the color means that the life expectancy is less. And then it'll also give you a rundown of what the life expectancy is in total years per country. And if you want to find the United States, you got to scroll down a little bit further because we're not up there with the Italys and Japans and Spains of the world. Another one asks you to go to, what was it, like the prevalence of smoking? Not sure where that would be. Smoking prevalence among males. So you just click on that, and that will give you another color-coded map. And then you can even go back in time to see different rates and has it gone up or gone down in the United States, and then it'll give you the data table there. All right, so a lot of information here. Some of the questions that ask you to be able to read the graphs and data tables, I do anticipate that you'd be able to answer all of those. The ones that ask you to predict or hypothesize, give it a try, right? I want to sort of see how your brain works, how you approach some of this data. I don't anticipate that you're going to get them all right, but you should at least give them all a try. And then I will sort of share the correct answers on Friday when I check in with you again. All right, that's it for me now. I will, you'll see me again on Friday, maybe even, yeah, Friday. And with some review of what we did today, and then also with Friday's assignment. All right, have a good one.